Have you ever wondered why Noah, a righteous man chosen by God to save humanity, cursed his own grandson, Canaan? What could Ham, Noah's son, have done that was so serious, so dark, it triggered such a harsh and lasting judgment? This mysterious moment in Genesis has puzzled readers for centuries, and today, we're going to uncover the chilling truth behind Ham's sin, and why it should terrify every single one of us. The flood was over. The waters had receded. Humanity's future now rested in the hands of Noah and his family, 8 souls who had survived God's judgment. Noah, described as a man of faith who walked with God, Genesis 6 verse 9, began this new chapter of life by planting a vineyard. One day, Noah drank wine from his vineyard, a little too much. He became intoxicated and fell asleep inside his tent, completely uncovered. It was a private, regrettable moment for a man who had walked so closely with God. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Ham entered his father's tent. He saw Noah's nakedness, this vulnerable state, and instead of looking away or covering his father, Ham chose to do something far worse. Genesis 9 verse 22 tells us, Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked and told his 2 brothers outside. At first, you might wonder, what's the big deal? But Ham's sin wasn't just seeing his father's shame. It was the heart behind his actions. He mocked Noah. He exposed him to his brothers, shaming and dishonoring the very man God had used to save humanity. But Shem and Japheth? They responded differently. When they heard what Ham had done, they refused to follow his example. Instead, they showed a powerful act of respect and grace. Genesis 9 verse 23 says, But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it across their shoulders, then they walked in backward and covered their father's naked body. Their faces were turned the other way so that they would not see their father naked. Unlike Ham, they honored their father. They protected his dignity. They refused to mock his weakness and instead chose grace. When Noah awoke and learned what Ham had done, his response was swift, powerful, and prophetic. But notice this, Noah didn't curse Ham directly. Instead, he spoke a curse over Canaan, Ham's son. In Genesis 9 verse 25, Noah declares, Cursed be Canaan. The lowest of slaves will he be to his brothers. This might seem harsh. You may be asking, why Canaan? But Noah's words revealed something deeper. Ham's sin reflected a pattern, a brokenness, that would pass down to his descendants. The Canaanites, Ham's lineage, later became infamous for their wickedness and rebellion against God. Meanwhile, Noah blessed Shem and Japheth. He said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem. May God extend Japheth's territory, may Japheth live in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his slave. Through Shem's line came the nation of Israel, and ultimately, Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world. So, what can we learn from this story? Why should Ham's sin terrify us? First, the danger of dishonor and mockery. Ham's actions remind us of how easy it is to expose someone's weaknesses instead of covering them in grace. We live in a world that loves to criticize, gossip, and shame others. But God calls us to be different. Are you quick to judge, or quick to show mercy? Second, sin has generational consequences. Ham's dishonor didn't just affect him. It set a broken path for his descendants. Our choices matter, not just for us, but for those who come after us. Third, the power of grace and honor. Shem and Japheth showed us that when we choose to cover others with respect and humility, we reflect God's heart. The Bible tells us in 1 Peter 4 verse 8, love covers a multitude of sins. And here's the good news, even when sin exposes us, Jesus covers our shame. On the cross, he bore our guilt so that we could be forgiven and restored. Think about that, God doesn't expose us. He covers us with his grace. This story isn't just ancient history. It's a warning. A lesson. In a world where it's so easy to judge, mock, and shame others, will you choose to honor? To extend grace? Let's follow the example of Shem and Japheth. More importantly, let's follow Jesus, who covered our shame with his love. If this message spoke to you today, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more powerful Bible truths. Let's live in grace, honor, and love, together.